seen me speak before or don't know anything about me, I'm one of the guys who foolishly set this whole thing up 6 years ago, and yeah, 6 years on, this is our 6th show at BPM, and myself and Eddie, the editor of Pro Mobile magazine, are responsible for the whole event that you see today. So thank you for coming is my first thing to say, because without you guys this would be nothing. So no, really appreciate your time and trouble to make the effort to come down here. For those who don't know me, I have been a DJ for 17 years. I know, I look youthful. But 17 years ago I started DJing, doing all the youth club discos and all those type of bits that we did to get into what we do. And I've been via the radio. I used to work for an EMAP regional station, now Bauer Media. And DJing's been my life. I've worked for equipment retailers, not equipment retailers, equipment manufacturers. I was with ProLite for 9 years, so hence I know the equipment industry very well. And throughout my time I performed in DJs via clubs, working for Luminar Leisure. At times I've DJed 7 nights a week, and now I DJ 1 night a week. Just one. Potentially 2, but you know, generally I'm out every Saturday, and I'm also the owner of another company called Dance Floor Couture. We have 7 DJs who work for us, so I know DJing fairly well, and I'm no major authority on it, but I like to share, and that's what this is all about. Have a look at the screen for me. What do you see? Squares? And what are the white dots? And where are the black dots? Okay, the black dots are moving around. Let's have you, madam. Just come up here and come up close, and have a look at how many black dots you can see when you're up close. How many can you see? None. Okay, so anyone else? If you want to go check that, if you've never seen this thing in the mind before. You couldn't see it. Not everybody can. Who can see black dots? Yeah. Okay. The mind plays tricks. Our customers play tricks. It's really interesting that. There's not a single black dot, but your mind is telling you that there is. And with a bit of luck, we'll move to the next slide if we're good. We're going. Oh, hang on, here we go. Anyone know how to one of these? This is Paul Arnold's clicker. He said, don't worry about it. He said, it's brilliant. Then we'll use the enter button. Okay, this is all about value and perception, and also about how value and perception are linked, because they are linked very much. And this here is the beautiful Tesco Value Valentine's card. And over there is, what's this? What do you see? 2 faces, a vase. Perception. We're going to come on to value later on, but perception is absolutely critical to your business. How your customers perceive what you do is absolutely everything. There's another one. Straight or wonky? Straight or wonky, there you go. Perception. How do our customers perceive us? It's totally key. And that's what I just want you to realise, what we're putting out to our customers. From you, your marketing, your approach, everything you do will reflect with that customer. Every move you make, what you wear, a hideous floral shirt, it's perception. Can you see the black dots? Okay, go have a little game. First person, you need to put your hand up and shout out. Are you ready? Here we go. There's a guy here. Shout! Okay, so let's have a look at this gentleman here. You've said librarian, you've said that because of the books. Let's actually look at him here. He's actually a professor, is actually his official title. But what he wears, what we perceive of that photograph is a geek. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, let's move on to the next one. This guy here, let me tell you about George. George is a toastmaster at a venue that I work at all the time, and George is the nicest guy in the world. He really is. He's brilliant at what he does. And the question, is he trained? Why did you say, is he trained? Just out of interest? He's got a uniform. He looks the part. He looks the part. You see that photograph? Which city? Liverpool. And why do we say Liverpool? And why, when Harry Enfield wrote that sketch, did he perceive Liverpool? Because they're all like that. Every single person in Liverpool is like that. Is that right?
Yeah.
Was that how it was perceived? My favourite fella, here he is. Let's have a look at this dude here. I'll never marry you if you don't take the lie detector. Who wants to marry him anyway? Is one of the questions. But what's his perception? How much does he earn a year? What do we perceive from this gentleman? The fact he's on Jeremy Kyle, he probably watches it. Which means he doesn't work at all. You are what you give. My favourite. The question. What are we perceiving? They're actually straight, and they're good friends of mine. No, they're not. Okay, DJ perception. What do we give out to our clients? And how do they get that message from that moment, that first impact? Who meets with clients? Have we got any people that meet with clients? Okay, there's quite a lot of you that do. And some people will tell you that you need to meet in a logoed t-shirt saying Dave's Roadshow. Yeah? Some people will say you need to wear a suit. Whatever image, there's no right or wrong, by the way. But what is your perception? What is the message you're trying to get across? If you turn up in jeans and a t-shirt, you are going to sell a jeans and a t-shirt service. If you turn up in a suit, what are you going to sell? A suit service. I mean, you wouldn't turn up in a tux. Let's be honest. Yeah? That's a performance wear. But how you meet with clients, how they perceive you. So when you arrive on site, let's go for the arrival on site. Who turns up in something logoed or smart? Who actually thinks about what they're going to put on to arrive to set up in? To actually set up in. What, absolutely. Come and take some seats, guys. There's loads of seats. They'll all shuffle up for you. Honestly, if please do come in. Don't feel you're disturbing us. This is, come on down. Come and join us. Let's look historically at how a DJ is perceived. And we are, I like to think, the next generation in this room of DJs. We have been dealt some really, really tough cards as DJs. There you go, Pop, because it's smashy and dicey. Now, Smashy and Nicey are, you know, let's face it, it's funny, isn't it? But the problem is that we find it funny, but the people who we're actually buying into think that's what they are buying, unfortunately, at the moment, and that's what we need to change. There is a major perception of DJs that we are just a load of cheese balls. Agreed or not? You know, please shout out. You know, feel free to. I love it. I love interaction, but you know, do you agree that that's potentially the perception that a lot of people have of us? And it needs change. Not off, exactly. Not off, Bob Biggers. And then Peter Kay comes on. Peter Kay's sketch at the end of was it Top of the Tower? I mean, what a great sketch, fantastic. But all it did was add some more nails into the DJ coffin. I mean, you know. And then he was on, was it the advert, doing, was it Boddington's advert? He was there DJing and said, leave it 5 minutes, love, and all that kind of stuff. That unfortunately, that negative press for DJs, our public don't see it like we see it. And you might not, you know, I might be pointing out things that you've never thought about here before, but it's really, really interesting about. You ask people about being a DJ. When you turn to people and say, "Yeah, I'm a full-time DJ," DJ full-time. That's how you pay your bills. You know, isn't that? Because that's what they think of us. And then Peter Kay comes along again with my mate, Rave On. You know, Phoenix Night's one of the greatest comedies. And unfortunately, again, we're hit. The perception is wrong. Now, I'm going to admit something here. I forgot to put the picture in the next slide, but will you forgive me? Yeah? This should be a guy dressed like someone in this room. Alan Marshall, please stand up. You're going to be my slide. Come over here. Alan Marshall, everyone. He's going to stand in here, and it's going to say, why not this? And you need to just crouch down a bit. Why is not that the perception of a DJ? Thank you very much. You did a wonderful job. You know, I mean, I should be putting a picture of a guy in a tuxedo there, or a smart suit, or something really, really good. And that should be the perception of a DJ. Who's got pads and stuff? When you go home, go to Google, type in mobile DJ. I'm going to give you two things to do. I want you to type into mobile DJ, mobile disco. Not in the same bar, two separate searches. Have a look at what a punter puts into Google and sees. He sees more bad rigs than you've ever seen in your whole life. It's car crash. I mean, I've a good mind to just ring up Google and say, how can we help here? Can I just put some good photos up? I mean, it really is car crash. So how do we change perception? How do we change perception? We've got to give and we've got to change. We're going to put another word into the mix because we have value, and we're going to come back to that in a minute. We've got the perception. I'm going to add another word. What are these guys? Surgeons. And there's one word that I think you have to associate with people in the medical profession. Anyone guess what that word is? Professional is one of them. I'm actually looking for something else. It's kind of something that we do with those guys. We have to trust them. And I'm going to, if I have that clicker working, I'm going to try it again. Here we go. Boom. See, it doesn't work, does it? We have to trust. If the public don't trust us, and our perceptions like that, how are we ever going to be valued as DJs? We've got a major thing to do as not just one person. We've got a major thing that we all need to do, and that's to up our game. Not just one or two renegade masters. Not one or two kind of, hell yeah, £1,200, you know. This is everybody needs to up their game. You know, the dodgy business cards need to go. The dodgy websites, the homemade websites need to go. You know, what we show out is so, so important. Trust is value. Perception is value. We'll look at two bits of value. First one, are you valued? Are you valued? Do your customers think they're getting value for money? I mean, do they? They do? Is that because you've offered them a good service, or is that because you've offered good service, or have you offered a good price? Or is it both? So these are the questions you need to be kind of just thinking about here, about what are your customers looking at? Are you valued? Does that customer think, wow, that person at the end of the night made my day, made my disco, made my 40th, made the baptism, whatever event. This is not about weddings, by the way, today. This is just about the whole perception and value of you being a DJ. Then the other thing is, do you offer your clients value? Do you go the extra mile? Are you different to those people? And that, again, you know, the whole thing is just so linked. David Reed, who was in for David Reed's seminar? He's good, isn't he? He really is. Just, you know, he's you know, he's fantastic, and he's got just some little nuggets that if you ever go and sit with him on the RSD stand and just bend his ear, because he does come out with some crap, but he comes out with some, no, he's a good lad. Do you offer your clients value? Mark Farrell, David Reed, both said the same message to me. If you charge more, you will work harder for your client, therefore they will get a better service. Because you're raising your own bar. God, this guy's paying me whatever. I've got to work harder for this guy. You know, I've got to go the extra length, make the extra phone call, the extra meeting. If you're just earning bits and bats and, you know, taking it as a hobby, maybe you don't look at it in the same kind of light. Nothing wrong with hobby DJs. I'll be coming on to that in a moment. Let's have a look at some of these car crash discos. Oh yeah, hell yeah! Okay, this was in Blackburn 2 weeks ago. Is Phil in? Phil Colbert? Is he in today? He's quite often around on a Sunday. Take a look at the evidence, everyone. His DJ was working in a different room. This client said, I can't afford what you're saying or whatever. And this is what? This is the beautiful thing that's set up. So, what's the perception? What's the perception given of a DJ? I mean, we're going to move on to one of my favourite corporate images now of McDonald's. I mean, you know, and they go on, and they go on. I mean, this is a beauty. Look at that. Look at the moment. Isn't that romantic? Isn't it romantic? Isn't that lovely? He's there with his mate, hand in pocket. Yeah, let's wear a t-shirt and stuff. I've got all these images. If you ever want them, in fact, I might just stick them on my Facebook for a laugh after this. But I mean, it's all right saying it, laughing and looking at them, but bloody hell, awful. But this is what every guest sees. This is why, you know. I mean, this is going back a long time ago, 2004, so, you know, we've moved on a long way since that point. But the perception hasn't moved to where we are now, and we've got to really just work on it. Perception is value. Who do you DJ for? You or your client? Who do you DJ for? Your client. That client rings you up. Now, hi, is Tiesto there? Brilliant, I love trance. Now that is a person wanting Tiesto. So Tiesto's not going to go, do you need ABBA? You know, people are buying into him, they're buying into the brand. With you guys, people are trusting you you're DJing for your client, you're delivering. They are hiring you in some way for your service, your professional, but that service is deflected back to them in our industry. You know, we're not hiring superstar DJs who you're booking just because they do an amazing dub set or whatever, you know. So the hobbyist DJs, and there is a total market for it. Let's face it, we're in a great fun industry, aren't we? Aren't we in the best industry in the world? You know, let's not beat around the bush here. We have a right laugh, and, you know, all we do is press play, don't we? That's all we do. But your client needs to know, needs to be told, needs to be sold at every moment along the whole journey of a booking that you are working for them, they get what they want, and you are perceived beautifully. We getting it? Good. In the quietest audience. For all the DJs, isn't it? What is value? What is value? And this is my favourite ever quote. Value is the perception that a service provided was worth the price paid, if not considerably more. Okay? Read it again. We'll need to read it 3 times, slowly, in your mind. Write it down if you want to. And we'll all say it together, class. Are you ready? After 3. 1, 2, 3. Value
is the perception that a service provided was worth the price paid, if not considerably more.
Okay. What price is value? Is £100 value? It's £1,000 value. It's £1,000,000 value. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at this. Which one offers value? 2 brands there. Let me tell you about those brands. McDonald's. Anyone heard of McDonald's? Yeah. I should hope so too. So McDonald's, worldwide purveyor of the finest patties in the land. Anyone heard of Gaucho? Gaucho is one of the finest Argentinian steak restaurants. Its average price for a piece of steak is around about £24 to £29. It's a chain. It's not even an exclusive restaurant. It's very nice, don't get me wrong. And you don't even get chips or nothing with it, right? It's just for me. 29 quid. I had one for 40 at Plaza. Thankfully, American DJ paid the bill, so we're alright. So which one of those offers value?
Both.
Who thinks McDonald's offers value? Who thinks Gaucho offers value? Who thinks both offer value? Okay. I'm glad, because that is just so critical here. This is not about price. This is just about value. They both offer value. McDonald's, a Happy Meal, it's gone up now, tragically, to about £2.20, is it, for a Happy Meal? It's £1.99 for years. That is value. Wow! And you get it instantly, like that. Boom! Oh yeah, I want nuggets. Boom, gone. Thank you. That's great, isn't it? Fast, cheap, shit. Oh, sorry. You know? Gaucho. Oh, the chairs. Just even to sit in a cowhide made chair. It's real cow. You're actually sitting on the back of a cow that's shaped like a chair. It's beautiful. You're then shown. Oh, they come round. Sir, let me show you the marbling. And they go through all the marbling. This is this cut, this is that cut, this is the other cut. Totally different things. But Gaucho, the service, the attention to detail, the surroundings, the opulence of the place offers amazing value. It's just a quality. I liked Mistake. Another great quote. Value is in the eye of the beholder. No price. Absolutely no price on value. Let's have a look at two people. We don't have to pretend who they are. But they're currently shopping for wedding DJs. Meet our friend from before, on Jeremy Kyle. What's he looking for in a DJ? Being totally on his perception and what he's giving. What's he after? Sid. Someone said Sid, but you know, he's after just how cheap can I get a DJ, and you know, has he got gold teeth like mine, because we will look great together. You know, he very stereotypical, but that's what this is all about. Stereotypes, horrible things, but we all make them. We all do it. We all make stereotypes in our mind. David Beckham, do you think he's on the phone? When he got married to lovely Victoria, do you think he was on the phone? 250? No man, get out for 200 round the corner. You know, I mean, can you imagine his wedding planner who rang up and said, I'm after a DJ, but for a wedding. I'll probably tell him many of the stories about it and who it's for. But, you know, I was wondering, could you give me a price? You think, oh, well, she sounds posh here, we'll double it. 300. I mean, you know, this guy for a DJ, I mean, I'm kind of using two ends of the spectrum here, but, you know, I mean, he's obviously going to just ring up, you know, Fatboy Slim and say, hey up Norm, what are you doing? But there are people out there who perceive, they've got this preconceived idea of what a DJ is going to charge and what a DJ is. And so when they're hit with that mighty figure of £1,200, someone from the landed gentry is going to go, oh right, that's brilliant, because £1,200 is not nearly enough for that man. £1.50, it's probably too much for this guy. And to be honest, he'd probably do it in the pub that he knows there's a disco on anyway, so he doesn't have to pay in the first place. But, do you get where we're going? Yeah? I mean, this is, for those who haven't seen this before, this is actually probably one of my most simplest messages ever. I can go on forever, those who know me, and I can talk forever. I'm just going to go through a couple of little bits here. Have your clients been to a disco before?
Yes.
Do you think? How many of those clients have actually booked a disco before? How many of those people in your audience have booked a disco? We are lucky if a person books a disco in their lifetime more than once. They book twice, it's brilliant. They book a disco 3 times, we're starting to see a bit of a repeat pattern here. And I'm not, you know, these are a bit sweeping statements, but most people will only book a disco either once or twice in their lifetime. So what is the perception of the fee that they're going to be charged? They have no idea. Other than a bit of a Google search and what we tell them, they have no idea. So what we give out on the front end is really, really important. I was talking about Googling before, and I love Google. Has anyone actually just spent a night Googling? The actual, not actually starting anywhere in particular. You just pick a random stuff and just see where it takes you. Because it's fascinating. If you've never done it and you only use it for information, actually just try it. But try it on something, start it on something you know and love. So start with DJing or something. Put in mobile disco, look at the images, and you will see this car crash of rigs. So when they're booking a mobile disco, we sell them, according to Google, and images are key here. We sell them gear. That's what a mobile disco is. Yeah? We don't sell them anything else other than gear. Type in mobile DJ, you actually start to see a face or two. One or two, but not many. Even if you type in mobile DJ, so you've moved from the disco to the DJ, you start to see. Type in wedding DJ, you then start to see a few more faces, and even a few faces in this room. That is what we're showing the world. Who's got on the home page of their website a picture of their gear? Good. Wow. What are you all doing here then? Preaching to the choir here. I mean, that's brilliant, because, you know, this is not what we're about here. We're about memories, we're about moments. I mean, I'm going to show you a couple of pictures here now that we use on our website. And these are all pictures that have been taken at a wedding, not by the DJ. Who photographs some DJs at the same time? Stop it! Awful! It just looks rubbish. You know, I mean, if you're there to DJ, you're there to DJ. Leave the professional shots to these guys, people who can do that with a picture. This is my business partner, Dance Hall Patrol. This is Robin. Beautiful venue, the Inn at Whitewell. We use shots like this. The crowd going wild. Romantic moments. Really romantic moments. It's a great first dance. That was another wedding at Ferrari's. Mr. Ferrari, and he has a Ferrari as well. Via Facebook, our wedding material directs them to Facebook. I mean, websites are great, they're a great reference point, but Facebook is the now. Facebook shows what happened last weekend to a bride and groom, so when you're at a wedding fair, hand them something that directs them to Facebook, something that's fresh, you know? And those images should be professional. Or Instagram. Instagram is great. You can use Instagram. Wow, makes any old tat look good. But let me tell you how I got those photographs, and this is just the easiest thing. Talk to the photographer. I mean, that's it. There's no hidden. He has got the same problem as us. He wants to find new customers, and I want to find new customers. I can help him, he can help me. He has beautiful photographs, so unless you say, please take some photographs of me during the first dance as well, would you? And what I'll do is I'll get him on our Facebook, we'll link it to you, we'll post it on your wall, blah 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 blah. All of a sudden, he's emailing you ahead of the wedding going, "Are you here? We're working again together. Can I get you some more photographs?" Because you've so much to give back to these people these days. So much to give back. Image is everything. Image is value. 3 words, write them down if you're writing. They are intrinsically linked. Perception, trust, value. Those 3 are just the most important things. If our perception is bad, they can't trust us, then they don't value us. If they value you, they must trust you, therefore your perception is correct. It's just so linked. Just see the link. Trust. Become the authority. Mark Ferrell. If you've not subscribed to his blogs, his Facebook things, He's brilliant. Just those words of wisdom. There's plenty of other people. Randy Bartlett, even me from time to time. I do the odd bit. But wow, perception, trust, value. Have you written it down? Fantastic. Okay. We're almost at the end. I wanted to keep the message really, really simple. Up your game. Up my game. I'm not where I want to be, I'm not where I need to be yet. So many exciting things to do. But if you think you know it all, and you think what you do is good enough, you're wrong. Absolutely wrong. You're here, which is phenomenal, brilliant. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, you've made all that effort to come out and join us here at the NEC. You've done more than that. You've made the effort to come and learn new things at the NEC. So, those guys out there who are twiddling with buttons and not sat here, you have a major, major advantage over them. I mean, just a major advantage. It's time we all started to know where our talents lie. Who's good at designing things? Who can make beautiful brochures that you could, you know, Chanel would want to book you to make their brochure. No, me neither. That's why I use a graphic designer and a printer. Yeah? I don't design stuff myself. It's not, you know, I'd like to think I'm a fairly good DJ, but my design skills are average at best. Look at your skill sets. Look where you are. Look at what happens. Open up a glossy magazine. If you couldn't put your advert, your business card, in that glossy magazine, then pass it to someone who can tart it up to get in that magazine. Because the perception of what we're throwing out there at the moment, globally, is bad. We need to step up our game. I mean, we really do. Every single one of us, myself so included. It's so easy to think, oh, it's another 100 quid over there, but I mean, what's 100 quid? I mean, I honestly pay my graphic designer about 100 quid per job. I mean, it's diddly squat in the great scheme of things. You know, and he comes back with some amazing designs. There's some great people. Have you been on the website? There's people per hour. There's graphic designers. You can post a little project up there, say I'm willing to pay 50 quid to a graphic designer, and they come back and say, yeah, I can do that. Here's some of the work I've done. You pay it via the third party. This stuff is not expensive anymore. You know, websites, getting them designed all around the world. There's, I can't think of. I'll put on my Facebook tomorrow morning some links to those people who can help you out at very good rates. There are designers all over the world now who will sit there and work for $10 an hour and design you something that is world class, be it a website or anything. Up your game, up your image, up your perception, and you know, who knows where we could all be. Any questions? I mean, like I say, it was a bit more of a messagey type one this time. You know, so if you do have any questions. Also, before anyone scoots off, I really would like to invite you all to come to the networking hub. Just literally out of here is a chance for you guys to talk to each other. Scary thoughts. Chat to each other. Hi, what's your name? Where do you come from? What do you do? Oh, I do weddings. Brilliant, fantastic. Oh, don't talk about price. Just talk about the love, what you can give each other, where you can find each other. You know, what Facebook boards are you on? What, you know, all those type of things. Just talk to each other and learn from each other. Pass around business cards. Business cards should be exchanging hands like nobody's business in there. You know? What? We there? Any questions? I'd love to answer any questions you've got any. And it doesn't, you know, could be anything. Capital Peru. Yeah. We don't want to talk about it, okay. Between me and her. Okay. It's a really good question. How do you get past? I'll clean up one word. How do you clean up the bottom feeders? The people who ring up and say, I've got £100 to spend. Can I just go back a second? Just give me a second, let me go back. Does that say £100? Does that say £100? I mean, they're not your customer. They really aren't, you know. I mean, if you display that, I don't get anyone ringing for £50, £100 discos because, you know, it just doesn't, you know, we just don't look like that company. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to look like that company, when there's people, £99 discos, brilliant, fantastic. And there are customers for those people. There are oodles of customers for those people. There's nothing wrong in becoming the McDonald's of DJs. Absolutely, there's nothing wrong with it. There is a market that needs to be serviced at that level. But we're not after them. There are too many DJs who don't want to pay tax. Shop them in. Shop them in. Honestly, if you know there's a DJ not paying tax, just ring them up. Because you know that you are. I'm not being funny. Things have got to change, and that's why I wanted to do. Usually I do nice fluffy seminars. You know, nice little. You must do this, you must do that, improve your performance and all that. But it's time that things must move on. If you know of a DJ, just ring up the tax office. Hiya mate, you're right, I'm trying to compete with this idiot, and I'm being really serious. I pay my taxes, I pay my VAT, you know, pay everything. Time to bollocks them all, if I'm honest. But you know, and being fair, your customers need to know that. But your customers also, when you're explaining, when you're meeting with that customer, they need to know why you're charging what you do. We've just had a phenomenal wedding DJ panel in there, and we all used to meet. We all meet with our clients. That's what it's all about. You find out about your clients. Your clients at that point. Gary had a great Gary in the middle. Put your hand up. This is Gary. Gary came out with a nugget in there. If they don't want to meet me, I don't want to meet them. It sounds awful, but that's where his business is at. He wants to work 52 weekends a year, 1 gig a week, earn all the money he can, thanks very much, and earn a good honest trust from it. That's his business model and what he does. But you know, we need, in answer to your question, you know, you just need to, they're not your customer, they really aren't, you know, and thanks very much, but that's not where we're at, you know. Do you do it full time? No. I mean, I'm totally aware people have got to pay bills, you know, and if you're using it and you need to be out every weekend to pay the bills, there's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, there is a level where we all want to get to, and also, going back to the original thing, it's perception. You know, this is not about price. Price shouldn't come into this seminar. This is about what our public are seeing us as, and that really has to change. It really, really does. You know, so I hope, you know, hope the message is strong.
May the force be with you.
Any more questions? No? Should we go and party? Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to BPM. Really appreciate you coming. If you've got any questions, please do come and see me. I know not everyone wants to ask on the microphone. I'm going to go straight to the networking hub out here, and I really encourage you guys to follow out as well. Please do go out there, have a chat to each other, get to know some people. The more people you know, the more you'll learn. God bless.